Call the City of Leesburg Commission meeting to order. It's the Carver Heights Montclair CRA. The time is 5 o'clock, September the 12th, 2024. Everybody will stand for the invocation and the pledge. Oh, Heavenly Father, please look over all of us tonight and help us make good decisions for the City of Leesburg. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the August 13th, 2024 meeting.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Alderman?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes.
Whew, that's a mouthful.
Will someone introduce 3A1?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only.
Resolution of the Carver Heights Montclair Area Community Redevelopment Agency of Leesburg, Florida, approving the amended fiscal year 2023-24 budget, appropriating certain funds to specific redevelopment projects, and providing an effective date.
For approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Pretty much everything in this contract. Hey, if you put up that real quick. Hit it. Click. This isn't working. There you go. All right. Pretty much everything in the Carver Heights CRA budget is as we discussed. There's about a 30% increase in the funds because the TIF has grown, so the budget's just a little bit under $1 million. It breaks down into a bunch of primary areas. About the $89,000 for personnel, 55-ish for operations, 96 for the debt payment, which is on the resource center, which is paid back to the electric fund. We increased the home improvement grant this year to $600,000, which should get, I can't remember what the number of houses we talked about there. I think it was 24, yep. The resource center operations and then some reserve money. So we decided through the process to leave about the $491,000 sitting in the account to go towards projects in the future.
Any questions? Yes. Roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Alderman?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. Someone introduce 3A2.
I'll introduce 3A2 to be read by title only.
Resolution of the Carver Heights Montclair Area Community Redevelopment Agency of Leesburg, Florida, approving the fiscal year 2024-25 budget, appropriating certain funds to specific redevelopment projects, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion.
I'm good with everything on it. I don't have any questions or concerns.
Excuse me.
Robert, do you have any questions?
I'm good.
Roll call.
Commissioner Alderman?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
No, Connor. Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. All right. We'll go to roll call next.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Berry?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Alderman?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Reisman?
Nothing this evening.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Nothing.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call this meeting to order. It's the Greater Leesburg CRA, Thursday, September the 12th, 5:10. We've already had the invocation and the pledge. We'll move right to 2A, approval of the minutes from the August 13th, 2024 meeting.
Make a motion to approve those minutes. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Sokol?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. Next, we'll go to 3A1. Will somebody introduce it?
I'll introduce 3A1 to be read by title only.
Resolution of the Greater Leesburg Community Redevelopment Agency of Leesburg, Florida, approving the amended fiscal year 2023-24 budget, appropriating certain funds to specific redevelopment projects and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion.
I just had one question. So special events is in our budget? Is that what I read when I looked at it?
Yes.
Okay, that's my only question.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Sokol?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. Will someone introduce 3A2?
I'll introduce 3A2 to be read by title only.
Resolution of the Greater Leesburg Community Redevelopment Agency of Leesburg, Florida, approving the fiscal year 2024-25 budget, appropriating certain funds to specific redevelopment projects and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion.
So I'll hit you the quick budget update on the downtown CRA, Greater Leesburg CRA. And it's pretty much as we left it at the last special meeting. So the CRA has about almost 1.1 million in revenue. That's an increase of about 18%. So actually, all three of our CRAs, as we've discussed, have been growing reasonably nicely. The major expenses is really kind of twofold. John, you brought it up, so I'll jump around a little bit. The number one expense is obviously pursuant to the decree. We spend half the increment to the payment to the Leesburg CDC, which is just a couple of dollars underneath $500,000. And then the remainder of the funds really go to the new special events division. So just on FYI too, Bike Fest is then in the budget in the general fund.
Okay.
So Bike Fest has got a separate allocation there. So special events is just exactly that, all the special events. 4th of July, Christmas, that's that expense.
Pancake-palooza.
Maggie's, all that. And Maggie's salary and Miguel's.
Yeah.
Then the remainder of the funds, about $100,000 on debt that we do for the Main Street project. When did that retire, Brandy?
27.
So it's got about 4 more fiscal years actually. And then we put a little money aside in reserve. And there was about 300 that was still 350, if you will, sitting that's unallocated. And I'm getting yelled because my microphone is now on. But the board felt like we wanted to keep some of that in reserve for future projects, potentially going back to the Market Street concepts or the imminent parking project. And then Commissioner, the 1.2 million we'll talk about is in the DST monies for the parking and downtown improvements.
Just confirming it's going to actually save us a little money, because if we move special events into the gas department, we won't have to build a new facility for special events, correct?
Right.
So that's
yeah, one of the things we were a little bit worried about storage. So with special events going to gas, we think we might have to bang out a garage door. But that's about it. So moving the special events did save a couple of coin there.
Okay.
And we're not going to fund the facade grant this round. Is that what I read?
Yeah, that is correct. And we don't. Did we have a remaining allocation? I don't think we did. I think we spent it.
We spent all of it the last.
Or do home improvements.
I'm sorry.
Or do home improvements.
The other, the $1 million grant, the 250, that was general
There's
fund.
one left.
There's one? I know
No,
it's
that was split over a couple of different funds. It was electric, general, and wastewater.
And there's
Because
Yeah,
they're
okay, I was
up
just
to
reminding everybody we have 250 left there.
Three have been issued,
Right. I know the buildings.
and
Not all of them have been.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think
They're
three
all-
have been
they're all
issued.
finished.
Two have been spent. One is
Alice has never spent their money.
the Palace was paid back. Mr. Calicarco.
Beacon, he's a beacon.
He was paid in full. Dr. Khan at the bank next to Hags, he's allocated. You all approved that, and so then there's 250 that's unspoken for.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Sokol?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. All right. Go to item 4, roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Sokol?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Eastman?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Nothing.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Adjourn. Call the meeting to order for the Highway 44127 CRA. It's Thursday, September the 12th, 5:20. We've already had the invocation and pledge. We'll go to item 2, approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. Item 3A1, somebody could introduce it.
Introduce and ask to be read by title only.
Resolution of the U.S. Highway 44127 Community Redevelopment Agency of Leesburg, Florida, approving the amended fiscal year 2023-24 budget, appropriating certain funds to specific redevelopment projects, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. Somebody introduce 3A2.
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only.
Resolution of the U.S. Highway 44127 Community Redevelopment Agency of Leesburg, Florida, approving the fiscal year 2024-25 budget, appropriating certain funds to specific redevelopment projects, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion?
And so again, no major changes from our discussions. About 24% increase in growth, about a $3 million budget in the downtown CRA. The number one issue in the downtown CRA is to pay the debt on the 2010 issue, which is about $890,000. And then we added a few new things: the South Leesburg advertising program for this year, operating expenses, which were standard, and to shift $2 million over to capital projects to help with the Susan Street project, and that left about $150,000 in reserves. And there's about $4.6 million that's available in the downtown CRA, the 44127 CRA, and we continue to let that sit for debt coverage. And I believe it was about $9 million left on that note.
And I know we talked about it, the rate on it.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. And we'll go to item 4, roll call.
Commissioner Eastman?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Berry?
Nothing tonight.
Chairperson Pro Tem Connell?
No.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Adjourned. Order of the City of Leesburg Commission, Thursday, September the 12th, 2024, time's 5:30. We've already had the invocation and pledge. We'll go to public comments.
So this is your time to express your concern about the tax proposal. Did you want to address the commission?
Oh,
You need to come to the microphone.
I don't think it's gonna work. I hope you can understand me.
If you'll
I
give us
moved down here from Maryland, and hoping that the tax will be more affordable here. But to my surprise, that our property, including Leesburg city tax, that I was not aware of when we bought the house. And now I saw the column keep increasing. And I want to know what happened next year, year after. I don't know if we can stay in our house that way.
If it's your homestead, it's limited to a 3% increase per year.
Once you're homesteaded, yes.
Yes.
I guess no winning situation.
No winning situation.
Is this her homestead?
We lived here 1 year, homestead, yes.
Just be sure she files for homestead exemption. She'll be then capped at 3% annual increases.
I did.
When did they move? When did you move in?
1 year.
So part of the trick in that too is there's a year before your homestead kicks in. So what happens depending on when you file, you can still catch the market increase in that year to true up. Kind of nobody reads this small print of the law.
I do not know. Makes sense.
So you've got a full rate. So probably the biggest difference she was seeing in her trim notice is the market adjustment. So moving forward, now that she's homesteaded, then you'll start to see those 3%.
any other public comment?
So she should apply again, or just?
No, she's applied. She's already applied, okay? And if she has any specific questions on that, she should contact the appraiser's office, and they can explain the homestead law in a little bit more detail. But I saw her tax bill. Yeah, so the increase that she's seeing in those two columns represents you didn't get the capture of the 3% because of that year period before the homestead kicks in. So she got a true market increase on her home value. I can look at that note like after the meeting and look real quick. That's my thinking. So the number that you see in the blue column, will probably be your taxes for 24, but that number should not go up more than 3% moving forward.
3% every year.
Correct.
Well,
Barring a tax increase. And remember, there's a bunch of other jurisdictions on that bill, not just the city of Leesburg.
Any other public comment? Okay, we'll move on to a presentation by the city manager.
I assume you all want me to be brief.
Yes.
So there is a presentation. I won't go through all the detail of the presentation, and I'll just really encapsulate the high points, which I think are the budget the strengths of the budget this year. On the tax note that we were just speaking about from the public comment section there, we are keeping the same millage rate, which is a tax increase, which Brandy will announce here shortly as part of the budget hearing process. I think there are really probably three primary things that we did this year. The first thing we saw was the incredible growth from the villages, which really increased our revenues. Kind of as anticipated, you saw a jump from about a 50% increase almost, from about $2 billion in taxable value to $3 billion in taxable value. And that yielded this year to about a little over $3 million in new tax revenue. So where we spent those funds were increasing the police force, increasing the fire force, and shifting down the reliance on enterprise money from the electric fund. So lowering the transfer was a significant accomplishment. I think those are the marquee accomplishments in the general fund, and then we continue our services, and we have the Bike Fest stuff in there as well. In the special revenues, we have the $1.2 million for the parking improvements and the downtown stuff. Our enterprise funds also remain consistent. They will receive the COLA increases as we've discussed from years past. The last thing I would really just leave you off with that we discussed a little bit but may have been overlooked, so I'll remind you moving forward. We did have a little bit of concern with where electric rates were. We were trying to keep our base rate down as low as possible, so that base rate per thousand is still $107, and I think it's $107.94 per thousand. That rate does not change and does not get a COLA. We did increase the power cost adjustment, but that's not a one-for-one increase. And as we described, if you go to ratewatch.com or the city website and pull up the rate watch stuff, there's a pretty detailed explanation on how the power cost works and how that's affected, and hopefully this fall you'll actually see lower bill based on usage, but the power cost did go up. But with that, the base bill is something we do have to watch on. One of the things that I think is a bit of good news, so this gives me some optimism moving into the fiscal year, is IT has been working extremely hard with GE and with Itron. So we're very hopeful that by the end of this fiscal year, we will be able to exit the GE contract a little bit early. There will be an exit penalty. GE is negotiating with us now on what that will be. They believe that the exit penalty is really not a penalty, but the time associated with changing their softwares and working through all the hiccups and giddy-ups and smoothing out of the system to transfer from GE softwares and management into Itron management. So more on that. But if that goes through, we'll see a significant reduction in our metering costs. Hopefully somewhere around $1 million a year. So that would provide some rate relief too. And I think that's something we need to look at too before we talk about increasing base rates. But that is a discussion that we're going to need to watch during the fiscal year. So every effort is being made to keep our electric rates as low as possible for our customers. And as well as, I can't underscore, lowering the transfer. Lowering the transfer kept about $1.5 million, $2 million in the electric fund, and that is a significant move. So when you all get beat up about our electric rates, please remind our customers what we're doing on the electric side of the house to keep their rate down. And really, the electric side of the house has more impact on our customers than what you're doing with the millage rate. The other note I would also say in there is the building fund. The building fund, we have reduced our rates significantly. Remember, from our previous level, we're down 50% of where we were charging building fees a couple of years ago, because we were trying to use that surplus up and give back and give back to the contractors and builders through our lowering of building fees. We're getting to the point now to where I think fiscal year 25, we won't have to increase building fees, but that's really going to be based on load. And my guess is if we stay at the pace we are now, about 300 units a year, really. It's about 30 units a month. We may need to nip and tuck that in the third quarter-ish. But we'll watch that and we'll report accordingly. So those are really the two big issues where we were moving into electric rates and building rates, where we moved into the fiscal year knowing we might have to make an adjustment on the fly. Those are really all the major things to talk about throughout the budget. The goals being what we said. The ones I missed were getting the parking study and that survey stuff going, and getting some of the other major projects like Susan Street and the marina finished up. That's it.
Okay, we'll move to 3A, public hearing. Public hearing on the proposed millage and the proposed budget for fiscal year 24-25.
All right. Here we go. Name of taxing authority, the City of Leesburg, Florida. The current year rollback rate is 3.2327. The proposed millage rate of 3.4752 is 7.5% higher than the current year rollback rate. The millage rate to be levied, 3.4752 mills per 1,000. On July 8th, the Commission approved the tentative millage rate of 3.4752 mills per 1,000. This is the same rate as the prior fiscal year, whereas the proposed budget was developed using 3.4752 mills per 1,000. Therefore, the tentative millage rate of 3.4752 mills per 1,000 represents a 7.50% increase from the current year rollback rate, which is attributable to additional expenses and is a tax increase under trim guidelines.
3A3. Request comments from the public on the millage rate. Any comments on the millage? Okay, we'll move to 3A4.
Introduce 3A4 to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, tentatively adopting 3.4752 mills as the fiscal year 2024-25 millage rate for the City of Leesburg, Florida, representing the current year proposed aggregate millage rate of 3.4752, which is 7.50% more than the current year rollback rate, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Comments?
I have one thing. I was talking to Al about this today, and it's instead of piecemealing some things that we do with the high school, I wanted to see how the commission would feel about adding the LHS Boosters Club. I know we sponsor some games piecemealing. If you guys would be open to adding them as part of our civic funding in the amount of $5,000.
With that.
Do I need to make a motion? No?
If everybody's okay.
Yeah,
I'm in agreement.
Okay, thank you.
any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. 3A5, which is request comments on the tentative budget. Any public comments on the proposed budget? Okay. 3A6. I guess, do I need somebody to introduce that?
Yes, sir.
I'll introduce 3A6 to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, tentatively adopting the fiscal year 2024-25 budget for the City of Leesburg, Florida, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. 3A7.
That's Brandy.
Yep. The tentatively adopted millage rate to be levied is 3.4752 mils per 1,000. The date to finally adopt the millage rate in the fiscal year 2024-25 budget is scheduled for Monday, September 23rd, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in the City Commission Chambers at City Hall.
You're 8B now, Jay. He's on his computer. He sees it. He sees it. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got
Okay.
it here.
3B, which is an announcement to, this is a public hearing on the fire protection services.
I'll introduce 3-8B to read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, relating to the provision of fire protection services, facilities, and programs in the City of Leesburg, Florida, imposing fire protection assessments against assessed property located within the city for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2024, approving the rate of assessment, approving the assessment roll, and providing for an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Open this up to public comment. Any comment, public? Commission comments. Roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Connell?
Yes. 4, roll call.
Commissioner Eastman?
Nothing this evening.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Berry?
Nothing tonight.
Mayor Pro Tem Connell?
No.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.